For some reason, with the default, you did not go.
This has got that backwards thing again. Is it? No, it's not.
No.
Oh, it's just
I'm on the right side.
weird. All right, now what?
Okay, so now you are live.
Okay. So now pull this one up.
Yes.
And you're watching the people?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Hello. It's not. It didn't do hi.
Remember, the video is still laggy, but they can hear you very well.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm just going to talk and try not to pay any attention at all to the video, which is way behind my speech.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try not to even look at that.
You may want to pull up the OBS after all, just so it won't throw you.
Yeah, let me scoot this over and put this other one up first. Are you going to watch for the...
Yeah, I have comments right here.
Let me put this other one up. Give me a second. Guys. All right. Hello there. Hello, everybody.
All right.
Hopefully people will jump on.
Can you hear? Can you hear?
Okay, yes, we hear you. All right. The reason why I'm doing this live stream is because I went to California. Mario, are you here? Say something, Mario. So I'm going to be talking about you. So I went to Sacramento and met up with Mario. Lives out in that direction. And we did an ayahuasca event together. And I also had Michelle, of course, on board, and Maria. Ooh, that was pretty good. Maria as well, and Zen Mommy and Storm stepped in too. And because they were involved in this event, I wanted to do this live stream, let the rest of y'all know what happened, and talk about it a little bit. Now, to start with, Mario, I don't think he'll mind if I share this.
This is public. It's not private.
Why is it? It's supposed to be.
I know it is.
Private.
Right.
Hold on, guys, because I don't want this to be a public live stream. I want this to be...
All right, I think you'll need to...
No, then they won't be able to... All right, I'm just going to be careful about how I talk. Mario, are you there? Talk to me. All right. Let me talk to Mario for a second, make sure he's okay with this being public, because it went up public, and that's not what I had wanted it to be.
I know you can do these now. Why did it...
Hey, dude, the live stream is going out public, and I'll be careful about what I talk about, but are you okay with that? You know, nobody's going to know who he is. He's in California, but I still want to be respectful about it. But if you change it, then everybody's going to have to go in through the link, correct?
Yeah.
And that'll cut it all off.
And it'll cut it, and it'll do
which is why we needed the link.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was set to unlisted, but I saw right there it was set to public.
But even then, if we do it another time, we're going to have to go in, get the link, put it on the website, and they're going to have to click on the link.
Yeah.
We can't just do it like this.
I was trying to get it set. I was surprised whenever they started talking, because you were going to set it up, make sure it was running, then I was going to set the link, and it just, but people started talking, so.
Oh.
Did all that record?
Ignore that. I had the record on whenever. Ignore that. I was just talking to Stephanie. LOL. Okay, guys. Well, I'm assuming you can hear me. So, hello, Desk Jockey, Michelle, Jeremy, Zen Mommy. I'm waiting for a call back. for Mario. Okay,
Actually,
he just cleared
I have
it.
set to that.
Mario said it's okay that we can talk. Like I said, his name is Mario. He's in California. Nobody's gonna know who he is. But I still wanted to ask his permission. Okay, so I went out. Mario flew me out. Got a little cabin out in the middle of these big tall pine trees. It was lovely. And he worked a long time now to get to this point. Now, we have been talking because he has been dealing with issues regarding the loss of his long-term girlfriend.
Okay, quick pause.
What?
Then mommy said, storm is involved. You have to send it to
What? I don't know what you're talking about. I know it's open. Mario said it's okay. What does that got to do with Storm? Storm is just here. Storm's always with me. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, we've talked a lot about his girlfriend, and his skin suit is really struggling with the loss of her presence here. So we've been dealing with that a lot. Now, talking about this trip, I assumed, and I didn't look because, well, ultimately, what you do, whatever you do, ayahuasca is going to do what you're going to do, what you're meant to do. There's nobody can get in the way of that. It's very powerful stuff. But I assumed that, and I think he did want to see his girlfriend because she hangs around him all the time, all the time. You guys would love her, by the way. She's fantastic. Stephanie, did you just take my lighter? No, okay. So anyway, that was my primary thing was, to make his trip comfortable and to get him to, talk to his girlfriend so she could tell him that she's doing great and it's wonderful over there, which of course it is. And really, that's about as far as I went with it. And then I just trusted him and his higher self to do what they were meant to do. So, of course, I contacted Michelle and Maria and had everybody set up for their part that they play. And whenever we do this, I stay in the very high vibrations. I think I've told you this before. Maria is in the mid-range, and then Michelle is in the lower, more physical realms. Not physicality as in earth here, but more physicality on the other side, outside of this reality. And so everybody was set to be in their place to kind of keep an eye on him whenever he started the experience, which he did. And he got pretty sick right off the bat and pretty much stayed pretty sick for the next 5 to 6 hours. Yeah, I don't remember exactly how long it was. So immediately we knew where he was, and he was in physicality. And he was, I should have, Michelle, if you want to type in here what you saw, because she's very good at explaining things that I see vibrationally, and she interprets them through earth physicality. So she's very good at describing the vibrational occurrences that are going on over there in a very, very almost poetic way, and she did that really well. Now, right off the bat, his Mario's girlfriend was right there and wanted to see him. But Mario very, very quickly and very suddenly almost was like he was a man on a mission. He was focused, was centered. He headed straight. Are you reading the comments, Steph? Oh, okay. So he was like a man on a mission. He was like, just stomping, eyes dead ahead, complete focus, straight, narrow focus. Now, Michelle, I believe, described this as like he was, I think, walking down a tunnel or steps of a pyramid. Vibrationally, what I saw, and I recognize this because him and I had done this before, is he was following his skin suit lineage. And by that, I mean that Mario was born in Mexico. but he has blue eyes, and he's lighter complected, so clearly the skin suit has got quite a bit of DNA running through it. So he was very definitely running the vibration of his skin suit. And basically, it was like he came out of, vibrationally, this is what I saw. He kind of came out of the cabin, went out to these giant trees, went down into, followed the roots of the giant trees into what felt like a cavern or a cave system. Followed this cave system down from where we were in California to Mexico, to the center of Mexico, and I believe it was, could have been, it was a mountain, could have been an old volcano. Followed that down, and lineage-wise, he went from American to Mexican to Aztec to Incan to pre-Incan, deeper, 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 deeper. And this went on and on and on. At the same time, he's actually physically going deeper into the actual planet Earth. Now, Mario is a high percentage of divine masculine. And even the part of him, and he sits about, 25 to 35% undivine at any given time, and can go up to 80% divine when at certain times whenever we're talking. So he's very high vibration, divine masculine vibrations, which I've not spent a lot of time around, a very, very, very little amount of time around the divine masculine vibrations. So he was riding on the divine masculine vibrations, and he is, as divine masculine vibrationally, he is very protective of Gaia, and he has, and his women, his mother, his girlfriend, and Mother Earth. He is your typical divine masculine in that regard. So he followed these vibrations down through time and space both. So he went back in time, all the way back to the original fractal, the original breaking of the divine masculine into the undivine masculine. Now, what that means is, let me get this out. Let me show you. So basically what he was doing was he was defractaling the divine masculine, or rather masculine energies. Now, physically, what was happening was he was very, very sick, and he doesn't remember most of what happened on the other side. He'll remember this over time, and it will come to him little bit by little bit. But because he was dealing with such big energies, it will take him a while to remember this, and we'll be working through it as I try to trigger him so that he can remember a part of it, and then I'll say something else and he'll remember another part of it. But for the here and the now, I wanted you guys to know about it. Number one, because there were other people involved with this. Eventually, Zen Mommy came in, and she brought in Storm. They were there as well on the higher levels. Now, so Mario is vibrationally out of body, following the vibration of his skin suit, the history of the skin suit, down within Mother Earth, So physically, he was inside the planet, down underneath the planet. As far as vibration goes, he was in the densest aspects of the masculine energies. So as he went back, or as I was standing next to him, as we went back. All right, first of all, let me back up a minute. Now, at the beginning of this, I'm watching that from a higher vibratory state. Michelle was watching him quite closely, like she was right next to him. She was also describing his girlfriend, who was also right there. And I was up in the higher vibrations, but it's like watching, when I'm staying high watching that, it's like watching things happen or reading things happen through shimmery glass or clouded shimmery glass. So it's very difficult for me to do it clearly. So I can get the broad picture of it, but not the details. But since I didn't know what he was up to, what he was planning on doing, I stay up high during those events, because if you do decide to raise your vibrations and go flying up high, it's a big place over there. And if I'm not watching really on top of it when somebody breaks through, I can lose them very, very quickly, very easily. And I don't want to do that with anyone that I'm with. That's the reason why I stayed high. Now, he just went stomping lower and lower and lower, deeper and deeper, more and more dense. As he did this and started going back through what you would consider time and space, remember I told you that whenever I did ayahuasca, I experienced my whole life and I had to see it in sections, and I would relive it, then pull back out of it and see it objectively and how it worked into the big picture, the big puzzle. And then I would go to the next part of my life, do the same thing, and I'd add and add and add until the puzzle pieces went one right after the other, till I was done with the whole thing and I saw how everything worked together.
Jonathan wants to know if Mario is a long-term human.
No, starseed. Very much starseed. So remember I told you I did that with my life? Well, Mario did that with men, with the masculine. It's not even men, it was masculine energies. He did that with all of masculine energies from now all the way back to the first dualistic split, fracturization of the divine masculine. Took it all the way back there. It took about 6 hours, I think, to do most of that. I mean, it took a long time for him to step that down. And he was assessing, looking at it objectively, pulling back, going to the next step. So this is literally millions upon millions upon millions of years. Now, on the other side, of course, there's no such thing as time or space, so it was scrunched together and happened very quickly. Now, in the process of doing this, as he went deeper and deeper into this and further, it got more and more and more intense. Eventually, Michelle had to step out. She stepped out and came back in 2 or 3 times. Maria, she was kind of like neutral, and she picked up on the intensity of it. They can both speak to that over here in the chats if they like. But it was extremely intense. And the deeper he went, the more energy we were dealing with. And I was walking around. I started pacing because he would start to shake. When the energy flux really went up, it'd start to shake. And I would start to shake. And the energies were really, really, really intense. So in the process of that, whenever I started feeling the energies going up really intensely, I'm not exactly sure when in this process that happened, but Maria kind of pulled back a little bit because of the intensity, and Michelle left a couple times because of the intensity. When I could see that he was definitely not turning around, not going anywhere else, and even his girlfriend being right next to him, because she could only go so low, and he kept going lower frequency and lower frequencies, lower, more density and more density, and she was not able to go but a certain range. And even with her calling to him, he still wasn't listening. He was focused on this goal, this plan, this intent that I did not know that he had put into place. So when I saw that he wasn't going to come off of this, and I'm not sure where he was going to end up with it, but I knew he was going to continue down this path. at that point, I went ahead and left the higher realms and came down and basically, from your perspective, I was standing right next to him, just a little bit behind. I don't know if he knows that or if Michelle saw me at that point when she came back in and out. But I stood just about 3 or 4 inches behind him, right to his left. So my right shoulder was right behind his left shoulder, and that was a vibration thing. That's the reason why I was positioned that way. And then Michelle, when it got really, I would say, at the highest intensity, Michelle described it that she felt like that she could see the earth bleed, actually bleed. It was at that point that she left. And it was at that point that basically what she saw was she saw the first dualistic fractalization of the divine masculine. So at that point, I would, let's see, it kind of looked like this. And here is down here at the bottom, and I'll just hold this up. And here's divine masculine, masculine. And Mario was coming down, 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 down through all of his skin suit lineage, down into, through time and space, through the lineage. He was using his skin suit's lineage to maneuver down through all of these, all that time and space to get down to that original fractal point. And this is where the original masculine came in at the creationary beginning, so to speak. And this is where it first split in half, right here, right at that green dot right there. And then after that, it started fractaling like this, and then like this, and like this, and like this, and it just kept going. Okay, it keeps splitting and splitting and splitting, and that's what they talk about fractaling. Well, he walked through all of this, all the way down to this point right here, okay, and connected where he is in, what, anything? Okay, where he was at, or where our physical bodies, and where our physical bodies in time, space, in California, in that little cabin on Thursday. From that point, he energetically followed the energy down to that original fractal point off of the divine masculine's energy. And remember, I've told you guys that I could not find divine masculine, that energy on the planet, okay? Well, that's because I wasn't here. Because it all the way back from this fractal point, from this green, where it divided and then started really dividing. Just like light and dark, good and bad, anything along those lines. So Mario came all the way back down to this original fractal point. And he grabbed hold of that. And to me, what it looked like, think a giant plug in a bathtub, only upside down, and like the bathtub's up like this, and the plug's down below, and he yanked on that plug, and on the other side was pure divine masculine energies, and he yanked on that plug, and then he reached out and grabbed hold of that divine masculine energy in its purest, cleanest source. And when that happened, it kind of just, all this energy from everything that had been on the planet, all the masculine energy that had fractaled out over all this time, collapsed back down into the original divine masculine energy form. Okay? When that connection happened, it was like a million thunderbolts hit me at once. Okay, now this energy are connected. At
And
that
to
point,
pause, that's
hold
where
on.
Michelle, it correlates with you, she said she saw lightning bolts.
Right.
1,000,000, 10,000,000 lightning bolts.
Yeah. When that happened, I knew, and I didn't know any of this was going to happen before the events. And I rarely know what's going to happen with me because probably, and I told Mario this, if I would have known that this was going to happen, I probably would have made some kind of excuse and not shown up because it was super, super, super intense, very difficult thing to have happen, and I didn't have any warning of it. So he was kind of standing there, trudging down to connect these energies and let loose that. Connected actually the broken fractal masculine energies to its pure oneness masculine energy form, and that all came together at one time, and it just went. It was huge. It was like I said, 1,000,000 lightning bolts. Because there was so much and it happened so fast, I did the only thing, I think I just did it on instinct, was I took that energy and I grabbed hold of all of it, and I did the same thing that I did in New York City with the other energies. I took that and I grabbed it and I threw it up to the sun, which of course was perfect because that is divine masculine energy, because the sun is the twin flame of Gaia, and that is the masculine energy. So I threw it up there, and then I sent it up through the central sun and then up into source, flipped it around, and then brought it back all the way back to us again. And then I started this corkscrew thing that I always do, that I've told you guys about, where down from below where we were here, and source is here. And so I took this energy from the plug, all the energy from the planet and Gaia in that plug where it got unplugged, grabbed hold of it, and I went like this, whoop, 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 whoop. And in the meantime, here's the sun, and here's the central sun. So I went whoop, 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 up, went to source, flipped it around, and then went the opposite direction, coming back down, all the way back down. And then I put us here. Then I hooked two of those together so that it's a constant up, 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 twirly, 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 source, circle down, 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 and then back up and back down and back up and back down. Now that's connected. Since we did all that, that connection has been made. So now the energies of the divine masculine and source are all connected, so that the divine masculine energies are now moving through all of the masculine, anything that has masculine in it, which is everything. It's going to filter and adjust the masculine energies to defractal them and take them back to divine masculine frequency level, which is where it will occur on 5D. But this defractalization and this correction of the masculine energies must occur. And remember, I told you when I tried to talk to you guys about the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and it caused this big old row, and everybody started fighting about it. And I told you guys that we had to fix the divine masculine first, so that the feminine, the broken feminine, had a place to step into, protected, so that the divine feminine could realign, defractal, and heal. Okay? Well, after that, I made a call, and I create my experience as well. So I made a call, and I said, well, it's not going to work to talk to regular people. Oh, don't do that. Because there's just too much emotion behind it. There's too much defensiveness. There's too much anger. So I need a timeline, an experience stream that will bring back the divine masculine onto the planet in some other way. And this is that other way. So Mario has his whole life worked within the divine masculine guidelines. I mean, he hasn't been perfect, and he's got issues, and he's done things wrong, just like all of us. Well, nothing's wrong, but you know what I mean. But he has operated under these instinctual knowingness guidelines. Because when he came to be here, he is a starseed. One of his primary reasons for coming was to realign and raise the vibrations of the divine masculine. That was his thing. You know how everybody says, well, I know I came here for a reason. I just don't know what that reason is, and I know it's a big deal. Well, this is Mario's reason. This event that happened in California, that was the big reason why he came to this planet, was to bring that vibration back onto the planet. Now, he unplugged it, and I sent the energy up into source and set that motion, that corkscrew of energy going up, coming back down, so the defractaling can occur. But now, everywhere on the planet, all of the masculine energies, wherever they are, will start to shift and defractal and align towards the divine masculine. This way is much better. Good on us for doing it this way. That way we can stay out of the emotionalism of it, the anger of it, and the defensiveness of the events that have occurred by men and women in the past. So we don't have to have those conversations at all, because clearly people were unable to speak to the matter in an objective way without becoming way emotional about it. So this works out much better as this gradually occurs. Now, I don't know if she will talk about it, but maybe she'll do a video about it if she feels comfortable. But Michelle has a interaction with a masculine energy in her life, and she did see this change occurred. Now, this was what I think, Michelle, the day after, when the person that is in her life was basically going to. I don't want to say anything that you're not good with, Michelle. So I'm going to be very cautious about how I talk. But I would say that he probably had an out-of-body experience, meditative-like experience, and there was very definitely new vibrations where he was. Now, I saw the vibrations with Mario. Okay, yes, what did I ask her?
You didn't know how much was okay.
Anyway, what he was doing is he was having, he was in a meditative state of sorts, and I was talking to her, and I said, well, let's go see if we can find him, just like we would do with somebody doing ayahuasca. So we did, and we did find him. It wasn't really that hard either, was it, Michelle? It was really cool. In that moment, I could see the vibrations that we had connected to with Mario in California. I could see that pure divine masculine vibrations frequency filtering up through Michelle's friend. Okay? I could see it affecting change. It was absolutely amazing. So immediately, I was talking to them or somebody, and I immediately pulled back, and I went, and I pulled back from here. I went into a pretty deep meditative state, and I went over to where he was. Now, from that perspective, then I opened up, went out of time space, and I went and looked at the whole planet. And the divine masculine energies were very rapidly shooting through the whole planet on every layer, every direction. Okay? And it was defractaling everywhere I looked. wicked fast, wicked fast.
Maria experienced a similar experience with masculine energy.
About the same time?
Now that you mention it, now she realizes that she had experienced something similar with the masculine energy around her.
Awesome. So I think what I really wanted y'all to see is to hear that this happened. Now, everybody, I want you to really don't work against us. You're in this group. I need you to work with us on this. That means I don't want you to think about anything that's happened to the past, not historically, not with yourself, about what supposedly men did that were really bad to women. Don't worry about that. That was meant to be. Everybody wanted it that way. It was for the extreme experience, dualistic experience. It's all good. It's all fine. What's important now is to stay in the now, to understand that this divine masculine energy has been infused into the planet, and I mean hardcore big time. If you will jump on board with this and really begin to notice a change in any of the divine masculine or any of the masculine energies around you, whether it's male or female, doesn't matter. Anywhere that you can see that masculine energy, it is going to start to morph. And the more you admire it, notice it, happy for it, the faster it will happen. You will stay on timelines where it's happening faster and faster. The option is for it to happen very quickly. If you are triggered to a bad memory of a negative masculine...
Hang on. Yeah, okay. Continue.
Negative masculine event, try to snap yourself out of it as quickly as possible. And remember, Mario